Any crazy weather?
We've had great weather,
Good.
which is nice.
I think it's supposed to be 86 today in Charlotte.
86 sounds good to me, honestly.
Yeah. I'm probably going to take a walk during lunch to get some steps in and enjoy the sun.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Hi.
So,
Hi, Morgan.
Hello.
Hello.
Alex or Christy, would you let me know when we're all here? I figured we could start with introductions for those who don't know each other.
Yeah, we for this meeting we kind of had we invited the snowmobile clubs and our state trails partners like canals and New York Parks and Trails. Kind of some spotty responses.
Sure.
Jim is from a snowmobile club, and Morgan is our tourism
Nice.
director.
Okay.
So yeah, well, I'm not. This is probably it.
Okay.
So we can. Oh, nice. Erica's here. So
I'll make sure to give you the slides. Well, I already sent the slides, but a PDF version of the slides and a link to the video. And then I was also working on a one-page summary sheet that people could share around their organizations. It's not done yet because I wanted to incorporate any feedback that we got during this conversation into that. So,
okay. Yeah, I think we can probably get started.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. So I'll start off with introductions, and I'm actually, to save time, going to introduce my colleagues as well, and then hand it to you folks to introduce yourself and your organization. My name is Nicholas Stewart. I'm with an organization or company called Vernonburg Group. We're a consulting firm that focuses explicitly on helping bridge a digital divide. We do that in a few different ways, but at the end of the day, our goal is to help everyone everywhere get affordable access to connectivity. We've been working with Alex and Montgomery County for the last 9 months or so on a broadband technical assistance project, and then decided to pursue what we're going to be sharing with you guys today. Greg Geis is our Chief Policy Officer, and then Alexander Jeffrey is a Senior Policy Manager. Alex is going to be helping coordinate with some of the public engagement aspect, which is what he did during the Vernonburg Group's excuse me, which is what he did for the Broadband Technical Assistance Project. And then Greg is serving as senior oversight for the project, and I'm a project manager. So that's us, and I will toss it to you guys for intros, and then we'll go through a couple slides.
I'll start and I'll kick it around the room. So for those of you who don't know me, Alex Kudish, senior planner at the Montgomery County Business Development Center, which houses planning and economic development and tourism. And with that, I will send it to Christy.
Yeah, I'm Christy Dingman. I am the staff assistant here in the Business Development Center, working alongside Alex on this project and the prior one with Vernonburg Group. Pass it to Morgan.
Hi, I'm Morgan McClary. I'm the Director of Communications and Tourism for the county.
And then we have looks like two people from outside of the Montgomery County organization. So Jim, do you want to introduce yourself? And then Erica?
Yeah, I'm Jim Bodie. I'm a member of Full Month Snow Travelers Snowmobile Club.
I'm Erica. Oh, sorry. Did you have more? No. Okay. I'm Erica. I'm the Policy and Planning Manager with Parks and Trails New York. So we represent all the trail users of the Empire State Trail and support creating better access and safety on the whole trail system. So excited about this project.
Very cool. Before we get in, a comment to Jim. So I've been in the area 3 or 4 times in the last year or so, and I'm always tickled when I see these snowmobile crossing signs. That's something that I've never seen until I was up in your part of the New York. So just thought that was neat.
Yeah, we like to have those road crossing signs out. It kind of, with people traveling without a map, it kind of lets them know where they are.
Very helpful. So we're here today to go over a couple of things and have a couple of asks. This is a study that Vernonburg Group and Montgomery County are doing together to get a more accurate, granular map of the cell phone coverage over the trails that are within Montgomery County, and we'll actually get into those. You guys utilize the trails and are familiar with them and their benefits and their environment. That's the reason why we wanted to reach out and engage with you particularly, so that way we could communicate the goals and objectives of the project, get some feedback and input from you, and then hopefully have you guys assist in the data gathering piece as well. Overall snapshot in terms of planning, there'll be 120 days of the project running where we'll gather data. Our goal is to get data points from 190 miles of the trail network within Montgomery County. And we'll be doing that with one app that's being developed by a company called Enablers AI. This project is being led by Montgomery County with Vernonburg Group helping support Enablers doing the app design, and it's being funded by the ConnectALL local and regional assistance grant program. So want to make sure we mention where the dollars are coming from. So this is as much about safety as it is technology. All of you guys, I'm sure, have anecdotal stories of things that have happened along the trail where people needed to communicate something to someone else and weren't able to do so. As a part of the framing of this project, myself and Alex also met with the sheriff, and he was sharing some of his officers' experience with similar issues where there are times where they need to communicate information that might be more sensitive, that they don't necessarily want broadcast over the radio, but due to lack of cell phone coverage in certain areas, that isn't always an opportunity or an option for them. One of the other impacts that he specifically brought up was if there are times where an officer may need a supervisor or somebody else to join them, instead of that officer being able to make the phone call directly from their cell phone, they have to radio to 911 and then have 911 stop what they're doing to make an internal phone call to have someone go out there. So just the volume of importance, potential bicycle accidents or someone getting turned around and needing help to reach out. And that is what this project centers around. So we are looking at cell phone data location and cell phone strength location. Because of that, privacy is extremely important, and that we wanted to make sure that we brought up that particular piece from the very beginning of the project with you guys and as we're engaging with the public. Essentially, what it's collecting, and I'll describe how the app will work in a second, is how well your phone connects to cell phone service while you're on the trail, and then where you happen to be when that measurement takes place. It's not collecting the user's name, contact information, or any personally identifiable information. And it's also not accessing any of the other information that's on an end user's phone. All of the contributions are anonymized, and all of the data belongs to and remains with the county in perpetuity as well, versus a larger company holding on to data and then doing something unplanned in the original scope later on. Working with the county to make sure that we had those guardrails in place, it allowed us to work with the app developer to put in that same structure as well. The way that the app will work, essentially, you'll be able to scan a QR code or go to a county landing page and be able to click to download the iOS or Android version. You'll click on it, it'll take you to your App Store or your Google Play Store, and you'll download the app. Once you are on the trail and want to start recording, you'll just push start. Some privacy information will pop up, some terms that you'll agree to, and then you'll use the trail. When you're done, turn the app off. And again, it's only looking at this particular moment in time, this cell phone was on this certain part of the trail. It didn't have any service at all, or it had weak service, or it had strong service, and then coordinating that information together. The long-term overall goal for this is to be able to take a look at the trail network, identify where the weak and dead spots are, spec out some potential technology solutions that the county can explore, and then help steer them towards funding to implement that as well, with the long-term goal of being able to get the gaps filled on the trail. Again, privacy is very important to us, and so we're making sure that as we connect with organizations who work directly with the testing folks that we're looking at, that we clearly communicate what we do, what the app does do, what it doesn't do, on every yard sign, on every flyer, and on the app itself, just to make sure that that information is communicated as clearly as possible. So the asks, and there's a question and answer section here in a second, but the ask that we have is essentially for you guys to continue to do what you do, which is working with your membership and with the public to spread the information about this pilot program and the app and adoption of the app. Our goal was to make it so the burden of making social media graphics, making the language for newsletters and whatnot was not something you guys had to do, but something instead that we did internally and then provided to you guys to review and make amendments to, and then communicate that information. We at Vernonburg don't intend on directly engaging with any of your members. That'll be a relationship that you guys continue to hold together. We're just going to help with the production side and give you guys the resources to help, again, secure the eventual outcome. Excuse me. The second piece that we wanted to talk to today, but also over the course of time, what do you guys already know? What are some information that you're already familiar with about particular parts of the route or problematic conditions that you've heard about from your members or from the general public, some of the seasonal use patterns, other potential local events that we may not be familiar with, so that way we can try to make sure that we have the data collection period during times of heavy trail usage, and just want to hear and learn from you guys. This is what this timeline looks like. We're looking at doing a soft launch, which a small group of county employees in early summer will download the app and utilize it so we can verify that everything's working correctly. During the middle of the summer, doing a public launch where the app is open to everyone, where we do the any press releases, we're looking at putting out yard signs with QR codes at the different trailhead locations and any of the other public engagement, as well as that from your organizations as well. Then we're looking at actively collecting data through October, and then doing the findings handoff to the county in late fall. And again, those outputs that we're working towards are coverage maps, specific gap analysis, and then recommendations on here's a vendor that makes a low visibility set of equipment that fits in with the outdoor nature theme, and the cost is X. and here's a potential funding source through the state or the federal government or some other buckets of funding. There are a few items that we have already highlighted to try to center the data collection around, and I'll just leave them up on the screen here for a second. And again, if there are any that you guys know of, feel free to share. And I think it was Morgan who shared some with Christy 2 weeks ago. That was helpful. So thank you for that on the tourism side. I'll leave this information up on the screen to let everyone read through.
While folks are reading through it, Nick, if I could jump in,
Yes, please.
Jim, I know that the scope of the collection isn't going to be at the peak of snowmobile season. So it might be helpful if you have some thoughts or insight into how these trails might be used. I know that given the private land, some of it's restricted or closed during the off season. But if you have a sense maybe from your membership on how they use the trails during the off season, and how we might build on that, that would be great to have.
I think that could be a problem. There's much of the trails we do not have permission to enter in the off season until late fall, and often it's November, December. Partly because of crops. Also, there's cattle on some of the farmland. Gates are closed, and we'd be considered trespassers if we entered those properties.
Yeah.
Off season. In fact, our trail is not marked, so there might be some confusion in someone trying to traverse the trail, knowing exactly where it is. So. We don't even set the trail up until usually sometime in December, whenever we have access. Some of it we can set up early, some of it later, but it's not open, of course, until generally around the 1st of January. Open to snowmobile anyway.
Yeah.
Part of that is some late crops are even a difficulty in getting opened at the beginning of the season.
Do you think maybe as we think through that, do you guys actually have relationships with the landowners? Is there maybe be some receptivity to having us try to arrange like a 1-day walk through across their land to see where the signals might be? Are they?
In some cases, yes. And other cases, cornfield, or cattle in the field that they don't want disturbed, or it's not safe.
Sure.
So it's a mix. And then in hunting season, of course, they don't want anyone on the trails. But in the late fall, there are some portions of the trail which we could access, segments.
Okay. Great.
We might, sorry, Erica. It might also be worth having a conversation with your members with a map up on the screen. Some of them may be aware of locations. I was at this spot last year and didn't have any coverage whatsoever. There may be some manual entry data gathering that we can also look at if that is something you guys are receptive to, Jim.
I think we could, through our social media, request from our members their experiences with lack of coverage.
That'd be great.
We might be able to gather some data that way.
Yes, sir. Erica?
Yeah, to that same point, I was wondering, is there a map of the trails you all are hoping to target with this study?
There is. Alex provided us with a map file of the trails, which I don't know. Let me see if I have that handy.
Yeah, and Erica, that map that I had provided was really just the Empire Trail and the county snowmobile trails, which are kind of created and maintained by the 4 clubs in the county.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
There is, you know, I don't think it's limited to that necessarily. I mean, because we have talked about including like the disc golfers and so they use like 3 or 4 different parks too. So and there's some state forest land and a handful of kind of DEC managed forests that people go to, like Yatesville's Falls and a couple other places in Charleston. So if people have the app and wander into those places, I mean, we'll
get that data.
we'll take that stuff too. So
When I send out the recap information, I will include a link to a Google map that shows the routes that the county provided us for scope.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. That's very, very good call out. Just so we're all kind of aligned, our hope and goal is to do some individual follow-ups with your respective organizations, like that we just discussed with Jim. We're going to put together some ready-to-use materials during the pre-launch phase that we can distribute to the county and in turn can share with you guys. If you guys are thinking about whom might be good points of contact to connect with, that would be something good to either gather and keep for yourselves or to share with the county. Again, Vernonburg Group, our goal won't necessarily be to directly engage with your members or the public, but instead just to help provide the tools and resources for the county and you guys as organizations to do that. And then through the course of time, once we have the schedule locked down, which is centered around the app development timeline, we'll put in place some standing project check-ins. And then following this, when we were discussing it internally, you may have communication approvals that you guys need to get as organizations. So we figured putting together a 1-page summary to share with you would be helpful. So that'll be one of the things that'll come out. So the slides, link to this video, and the 1-page and the map will be the 4 items that get sent to Alex and Christy. But probably tomorrow at the latest. The map shouldn't take me that long to put together an easily accessible version. And then Christy's going to serve as the point of contact for the county. And you guys have her email address, but if you need it, it's there on the screen as well. Any follow-up questions, comments, anything that you think we should think about?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Just a quick question on the app. When the app is running and you've selected record and traversing the trail, is your cell phone available for phone or for mapping, like navigation functions, as this app
Yes,
is
sir.
running?
Great question. It will not impact any of the other functionality of your phone.
That's
It is
good.
only limited to I'll try not to get super granular, but I'll give some examples. So having a conversation with the app developers, whether someone's walking, running, or biking, the pace that you're moving is different, or even riding on a snowmobile. So it may be, hey, every 1 minute for walkers, take a location and a signal strength. It may be for bicycle people who are going faster, every 30 seconds or a different iteration of time because they're moving faster. But so that's the only thing that's happening. Based on what type of movement you say that you're doing at the moment, will set the frequency that readings are taken and the, again, location and the activity as well, but the location and your signal strength at that particular place.
Yeah, once you're actually recording, that all happens in the background?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm
Very good
curious
question.
what kind of sample size you guys are looking for.
So we didn't pin down a number on the sample size, excuse me, on the trail. What we decided to do from a methodology approach was on at least a weekly basis, getting together and taking a look at the map.
Mm.
Inevitably, there are going to be pockets that have more data points than others. So we're looking at, hey, let's refine and go to this portion of the trail and get the local businesses to put out information about it. So more consistency in coverage than a specific number of end users was kind of the goal that we were looking at there. I think in the US, iPhone has like 60% of the market and then Android with 40%. So as long as we have someone with an iPhone and or an Android in a specific area, it'll allow us to get a realistic impact on what's on the ground. Something else worth mentioning, the FCC has maps where you can look at cell phone coverage.
Yeah.
Those maps are done using math, which is fantastic, but it doesn't necessarily reflect a lived end user experience.
Mm.
And so the reason we're doing it this way versus a traditional cell phone drive test where you have two people in a car, one person driving, one's an engineer, with a bunch of antennas on a car that aren't the same antennas that your phone has. Again, is it collecting the same lived experience information that can actually have a positive outcome and impact on resolving the issue?
Mm-hmm. And has this been a documented issue along the Empire State Trail?
I'll kick that one to Alex.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say anecdotally, yes.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know if there's any real data that's available to
Yeah.
confirm or deny that, but we're about to have that, which is great.
Yeah.
So and I think you know, certainly you know, strong anecdotal evidence about just cell service being an issue in the county generally.
Okay.
And I think this approach helped us narrow the scope to a project that we could wrap our arms around with kind of the resources that we have. So, you know, tackles a specific area of the problem, right? So,
Mhm.
I hope that answers the question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just helpful to have the
when-
background.
I have a
And more
question.
When yes,
So if someone's on the trail in our county, and they're cycling and they turn on this app, what if they don't know when, they're no longer in the portion of our county and they don't turn the app off and they just keep riding and then they're in Schenectady County or somewhere else? I mean, is that gonna?
it'll still keep collecting data, but we'll end up filtering that information out of the final results.
Okay.
Yeah. And Erica, to your point on kind of the verified issue for the trails, that was something that came up when we were talking to the sheriff. How do you know how many 911 calls you didn't get because someone didn't have signal at the time? So kind of tricky to document unless you can do something at a more granular level with actual end user real world conditions.
I mean, I know for a fact was it last year or the year before, during the Montgomery County Kayakathon when we were out there on the water, I had very terrible service because I was trying to get in connection with colleagues because we were trying to estimate, when we would be arriving because they had stuff on their end that they were doing. So I know, my phone didn't work while I was out there. So if just, I mean, I'm only one example, but I know a few of our other staff members didn't have service as well out there.
Yeah, so maybe the water trail is another place where we can encourage people to paddle. Like Erie Canalway would definitely be the group to go to for that. Make sure that they're paddling and turning on the app.
Yeah.
The struggle is real.
Yeah, I know Morgan and I were on the phone before this call, and like if on the 5S corridor where our office is, I mean, if I go down to the bike path to like go for a walk or whatever, like I can't even, my Spotify doesn't work. Like I can't
Oh
listen
my
to
gosh,
music,
yeah.
and so so I mean, I think it's like yeah, it's a thing.
It's an
We
issue.
just don't
Yeah.
know to what extent.
Mhm.
And I know on Route 5 going towards Route 5, not 5S, both ends, I typically don't have service on my phone. Most specifically on Route 5 from Fonda to Amsterdam, there's a stretch that I just don't have any service. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's where I believe I remember not having service in the kayak, but it was like in the water on the other side of 5. So
In the last week in April, myself, Greg, and Alex were up in Montgomery and Otsego County, and I was actually meeting with one of the village mayors in Otsego County, and I got turned around and didn't have cell phone service, so I couldn't even call him to tell him that I was running late. And I'm not as familiar with the area that I was in, which was a little intimidating when I can't get service to call or GPS to help me get to where I need to. So the struggle is definitely real lived. So
Yeah. I had
thank
two
you all.
more.
Yes,
Sorry,
ma'am.
I have
Please.
two really quick. I feel like Schoharie Crossing State Historic Site would be another good partner to add. Just being kind of in the middle, kind of out there. And just wondering if you have a sense of how much the app drains phone battery, just so so that doesn't cause even more problems if someone's phone dies.
100%. So
good
there are a
question.
few things that we have done to navigate that topic. Number one, if and when a phone's battery gets to a certain level, the app will stop running automatically. That was something that we communicated to the app developers. And number one, and then number two, during the sort of pilot phase where the county staff are using it, that's something that we're going to be monitoring to see what that impact looks like and making adjustments. If taking a measurement every 2 minutes has a disproportionate impact on the app usage, then change it to 4 minutes. At the end of the day, if people aren't willing to utilize it because it's having a negative impact on the experience, we're not going to accomplish our goal. So battery usage is definitely something that's top of mind in all of our technical conversations.
Great, thanks.
Yeah.
Right, that's it.
Yeah, we can do
Anyone
our
else?
best to promote this at all those events that you had listed previously, and I'll make sure that all the staff that work in the visitor center are aware, so that if a cyclist comes in, that they can bring this to their attention. And we have someone working on Saturdays now, and I expect to have more people out and about, so I can make sure he's aware of it too. I think it's just trying to make people not scared of the whole data collection thing, which it looks like you're doing. So
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Yeah, we'll have a
Thank you for
very
that.
crisp and clean what we are doing and what we're not doing to try to allay some of those concerns, because we do know people are pretty sensitive around those collection efforts.
For
and
sure.
I can do my best to share it on all of our avenues, like social digital, and I can send out any press releases or information out to my media contacts. And depending on how we phrase it, I think that we could potentially share it to some of the cycling pages and just say, help us make sure the trails in Montgomery County are safer while you're out here riding by helping us obtain this data or something.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome.
Great points.
Yeah, I would like to distribute some information to our clubs, and as soon as it's available, in particular the schedule, and I'd request some questions people have in advance and any problems they foresee with executing this.
Yes, sir.
Great.
That'd be very
And
helpful.
will there be a follow-up meeting later to?
There will be. So in the interim, I'm going to send out those 4 things that I mentioned, which are the video of this meeting, the slides, the 1-page summary of overall project overview, and then the 4th one was a link to a Google map showing the trails that routes that we're targeting. Once we have the app development schedule pinned down and finalized that will allow us to set the data collection timeline, and we will have some follow-up meetings that align with that as well.
Fine.
Well, we'll also have the social media and other messaging distribution will come once we have those other factors sorted out as well.
Great.
Thank you all for your time. If you have any questions, comments, anything, reach out to Christy, who will get a hold of us. And we look forward to helping get more coverage in your county.
Thank you,
Awesome.
everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Have a great day,
Thanks.
guys.
Bye.